What's going on, everybody? It is day 26 of no gambling. Today's video probably won't be as long. Yesterday's was long, it was like 20 minutes long. I guess I just had a lot to say. Um, but I'm going to keep today a little bit briefer than that, I think. Just because I addressed a lot of things yesterday, I don't have as much stuff to talk today, but I'm kind of just going to rant a little bit, talk about my thoughts, discuss some different topics related to gambling, related to the channel, and also maybe a little bit completely unrelated as well. So, day 26, we're going strong. Nothing's changed since yesterday. I'm feeling better today. If you watched my video yesterday, I've been sick with the flu like all last week. It was pretty brutal, which sucked. I missed work. I was just sitting on the couch watching movies, sick as a dog. Trying to just drink water and Gatorade and have some soup kind of thing. But I watched a ton of good movies. I watched There Will Be Blood for the first time with Danny Day-Lewis. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but it's fantastic. I'm a little bit of a, I'm a bit of a movie nerd. Like I'll watch YouTube videos of like cinema analysis for like hours, like just breaking down themes and concepts and like missed details of like my favorite movies and stuff like that. I love that kind of thing. So There Will Be Blood was a great movie. I'm surprised that I hadn't seen it before, considered how highly acclaimed it is. But if you haven't seen it and you like drama, you like dark, kind of gritty, realistic, um, historically based, but really powerful, emotionally moving performance, then definitely check it out. Danny Day-Lewis basically embodies the character that he plays so well that you feel like it's a real person right there. You don't feel like you're really watching a movie, so it's pretty cool. But again, I had a whole week laying at home on the couch doing nothing, and I can honestly say I did not get an urge to gamble at all. Maybe the fact that I was sick and just felt like shit had something to do with that. But at the same time, I feel like the old me, if I was if I was feeling bad, would have probably have turned towards the gambling as a way to try to help myself feel better. So the fact that I didn't do that is a huge win. And again goes back to, the point that the longer that you go without scratching the itch, the more that itch starts to fade. And this applies for everything, right? Just happens that the gambling itch for me was stronger than any other itch that I've ever experienced. But we're looking positive, so that's good. Um, Unfortunately for me, missing work for basically all of last week, I lose out on a little bit of money because um, as a trainer, I mean, my job has two parts. I do online stuff where I'm working at home here at the computer, and then I also have private clients that I train in person, either in their homes or out of a studio gym that I rent space in. And with those clients, if I'm not servicing the client, right, if I'm not working the hours, then I'm not getting paid for those hours, right? So I need to be on the job working in order to get paid. So kind of a bummer, missed out on some money last week, but it's okay. Everything's all right because it's amazing how much more money stays in your account when you're not just pissing it away every day. You know what I mean? Like when you're not losing $500 every day or every other day, the money that you make goes a lot further. So that's been good. And yeah, I've been able to put aside a little bit of money into savings, for myself, just into investment account, a little bit of savings aside for a vacation that my girlfriend and I want to take. And aside from that, obviously, got money for the debt, got money for the bills. So as far as that, things are looking pretty good, and we're going to try to keep crawling out of the hole, slow and steady. But yeah, as a trainer, to miss like the first real week of work in January, no less. Everybody knows how the gym gets busy. Everybody goes on their New Year's resolutions in January, right? So bad timing for me to get sick, but we're feeling better now. Um, One thing I wanted to talk about, which I got to do a better job of ignoring things like this, because it is amazing how human psychology works. And you could have 1,000 positive comments, and then you see one negative comment, and somehow your brain focuses on that negative and pushes the 1,000 positive comments to the side, right? Um, so the overwhelming response to these videos, especially the first video, which has really started gaining some traction. I think it has like 30,000 views now, which is insane. The vast majority of people commenting are extremely positive. They're either being very encouraging, and most of them are also sharing how they relate, sharing their own struggle, talking about what they went through and the gambling problems that they've dealt with themselves. And then you got a few assholes that kind of slip in. Some of them are trolls, like commenting things to like, oh, you just stopped before you hit the big win. You got to keep going. Don't give up now. Like that's bullshit. And then there's other people that are just like arrogant and mean. Anyways, I'm trying to just delete if I see comments that are like actually harmful, like ones that are encouraging people to gamble. I'm just for the most part deleting them or hiding them, because I don't want anybody that's on the mend, that's here for the positivity, to see those comments and cause them to go down the wrong path, right? So I'm trying to delete those comments. But there is one comment that I wanted to talk about, because I think it ties into a bigger concept and a bigger misconception. So I'm not going to name the commenter. I deleted and blocked him from commenting on the videos further because he just wasn't very pleasant. But basically the idea was, he was saying that he would never get addicted to gambling because he's too smart. So I don't have a low IQ, so I would never get addicted to gambling. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because this is a pretty easy trap that you could fall into. If you think that you're smart, you think that you're too smart to be affected by gambling addiction, and then you start to gamble. If you come in with that sense of arrogance, entitlement, the idea that you're untouchable, that you're too smart to be sucked in, that you're too smart to lose, that could very easily lead to you getting addicted because of the arrogance, right? That overconfidence is almost never a positive thing. And so I just wanted to, again, as a warning, and this is not in any way a brag, okay? This is not a brag. This is just a statement of fact and a statement of my reality, okay? When I was a kid, I was put into a gifted program in school. So where I live, there's a standardized testing, for elementary school kids. And based on all of that standardized testing, if they identify certain outliers, so children that performed exceedingly well on that standardized test, or maybe they showed certain tendencies, certain strengths in different areas, then they will take those select kids and put them into further testing, like a psychological test, So like I remember when I was in elementary school, I got pulled out of my class and taken to a therapist's office where I was asked to answer a bunch of weird questions, can you interpret this abstract photo? What do you see in this pattern of blocks? Can you rearrange this to create this? Blah, 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 blah. Which was basically a gifted test. And they tested and they diagnosed me as gifted and they put me in this gifted stream. Now, if I just pull up on Google here, the gifted program, you will see that it says that the minimum cutoff for IQ in the gifted program is 130. So I don't know what my IQ is exactly, but I can tell you that I'm not stupid. I am not a dumb person, right? And yet the gambling still took hold of me. I'm not some fucking idiot that, oh, I'm a gambler, win, never lose. Like, that's, no, completely disingenuous. Yeah, so don't be cocky. Don't be arrogant. Don't think that you're too smart to lose, that you can outsmart the system, or that you would never succumb to emotion, because that's the thing. Addiction is not a logic issue. People in the comments, why don't you just learn to do some math? If you learn to do math, you would never get addicted. It's not about logic, reasoning, numbers. It's about emotion, right? It's about the chemicals that are released into your brain when you place a bet, when you win a bet, when you lose a bet. These are not rational responses. These are physiological chemical releases that create emotional feelings, and that's what the addiction is based off. Now, there's some people that were asking me, and so I figured this is a perfect way to segue into this, and it's, what causes the gambling to be so addictive? Just sip my coffee here real quick. What causes gambling to be addictive? What are gamblers addicted to? And it's actually pretty interesting what the science says. And those of you that are gambling addicts or have been addicted will know this. Gamblers are not addicted to winning. Winning can be the thing that sets the hook, but that is not what we're addicted to. Gamblers are addicted to the small period of time between the placing of the bet and the result of the bet. And what occurs during that period is hope. When you place a bet, before the results come back, there's no loss yet. There is only that hope, that feeling in your brain, the what if, the exhilaration, the, oh man, maybe this is going to be it, right? That is what we were addicted to. And that's why, they've done studies that have shown that the result of the bet does not matter to the gambler. All that matters is that they can place another bet. That's what they're addicted to, right? And so that's why it's so easy to get into this fallacy where you think, if I just get one more big win, then I'm in the clear. I can leave, I'll quit. I get one more big win and I'm going to quit. But that's not the case, because the win is not what's going to satisfy you. And that's why so many of us know that even when we've had a big win, oftentimes you get a big win, you blow it all before you even finish your gambling session for the day, right? And then you're like, oh my God, I was up however much money. How could I do this? How could I lose it all? I should have just stopped when I was ahead. But alas, that's not what we're addicted to. We are addicted to placing the bet, when we are addicted to the feeling of hope that comes between the bet and the result. So don't think that you can outsmart the casino, or that you can outsmart the psychology and the emotions that are revolved around gambling. Anyways, let's get a little bit more positive. Somebody asked me about my Warhammer figurines back here. Boom. So, mostly in that cabinet there, if you're into Warhammer, you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, it's going to sound like nerd mumbo jumbo coming out right now. But we got Thousand Suns, and we got Death Guard for the most part. Maybe one day I'll do a little showcase. And this webcam camera is crap quality, so if I brought over the minis and showed you, I don't think it would look very good. But maybe I'll take some pictures and do a little deep dive sometime. But yeah, Death Guard and Thousand Suns in there. And then, I guess I'd figure I'd say one more thing. So, in the topic of keeping yourself busy, having a bigger kind of goal to focus on, to distract yourself from gambling and to remain positive. Now that it's January 2026, I am personally planning to compete again in bodybuilding this year. And so what that means is that I'm now entering a much more regimented training and dieting phase. So what it looks like for me, because the last time that I competed was in 2024, and for the last year and a half straight has been just basically a gaining phase. So for a year and a half, I've been trying to put on muscle. So I've been eating in a surplus with the intention to gain weight and tracking my lifts, making sure that I'm getting stronger and getting bigger. And I've been doing that for a year and a half. So now the bulk is over, and it's time to start cleaning things back up and slowly head back down to stage-ready conditioning, which is no laughing matter. I'm probably going to lose about 35 pounds. So I started last week, but then I got sick, so that kind of put a halt on things. I did lose a little bit of weight from being sick, but not the way that I want to. So I guess more like officially starting this week, this is what the process looks like. One, I will be tracking my weight every morning. So the routine is you wake up, you take a shit, and you step on the scale, and you write down the number. Weight every morning, and then we're going to start tracking calories. We're going to start tracking our daily steps, and we're going to start tracking minutes of cardio performed, if any, this week. And I take all of these numbers and I put them into a spreadsheet, and then every week I take averages of the weight, and from week to week we assess if I am moving in the right direction at the right pace based on all of the metrics. And then I'm able to get a very clear and direct picture of what's going on with my body and make adjustments as needed. So, if I want to lose, let's just say I want to lose 1 pound per week, that's why we take averages we track weight every day, and then we take an average, because weight can fluctuate from day to day. Your weight could go up plus minus a couple of pounds, right? So if we look at the weekly average and the bigger trend, then that's how we know that we're actually moving in the right direction. But anyways, basically, I'm locking in for 2026. This will be my third ever bodybuilding competition. So, yeah, I always find that when I get into prep for bodybuilding, it gives me such a strong sense of purpose and drive, and just that rigid consistency of routine of, every day you're going to wake up, you're going to track the weight, you're going to eat the same foods, you're going to do your meal prep, you're going to train your clients, you're going to do your workout, you're going to do your cardio, you're going to go to bed, right? And just like boom, 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 day in and day out. And the closer you get to the show, the more locked in, the more rigid it becomes. And just like waking up every day with a plan, with structure, with a greater purpose and a long-term goal that you're working towards, for me has always been extremely rewarding, and I do find that it tends to carry over into other aspects of my life. So when I get into prep and I get dialed in, all of a sudden my business starts running a little bit better as well, and my social media starts doing better as well, and all these other aspects, because people take notice. When you lock in and you start crushing it, you start getting results, you start changing. People notice, and that is attractive. People want to know, well, what are you doing? What's your secret? How can I do that? That kind of thing. So I think that the timing is good for me to get back into prep mode, and I'm hoping that the return of more structure, more discipline, and more purpose with that long-term goal will keep me on track and keep my head out of gambling. So, I said this wasn't going to be a long video. It turned out to be actually longer than yesterday's video, so I guess I got a little carried away. If you guys are still here, thank you so much for listening, and I hope that everybody is going strong on their journey as well. Every time I see comments of people either saying, I see people saying, hey, you know what, today's day one for me. You've inspired me to start. I also see people saying, you know what, hey, today's day 10, today's 15, 30, whatever it might be. I've been following along. Thank you to everybody that's making those comments. Let's keep it going, man. We can do this. I'm doing it. I'm going to keep doing it. You're going to keep doing it. Again, if you need somebody to talk to, link for the Discord is going to be in the bio in the pinned comment. I know I haven't been in the Discord as much. I'm sorry. It's just like I said the other time, like when I'm sick, I don't feel like talking to anybody or any, like I just wanted to just like sit on the couch and just so I'm gonna try to be in there a little bit more this week, but I pop my head in from now and then, and I see that people are talking to each other, the channels are active, so that makes me feel great that I've actually maybe started something here, and that it's continuing to grow and continuing to work, even though I'm not there every single day, and that's thanks to you guys. So yeah, Discord link will be in the bio. Thank you again, and let's keep it going, guys. All right, have a good one.